Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland, and in this video I'm going to show you my 5 favorite overdrive and distortion effects in the Line 6 HX effects. So it's no secret at this point that the HX Effects has replaced my whole entire pedal board of individual effect pedals such as dirt, delay, modulation, reverbs, filter effects, everything that I need here in the studio to create sounds for my clients or just for my own personal projects is right here within this one little unit. And this is going to be the start of a series, so I'm going to go through 5 of my favorite effects of each effect type. So in this video we're going to go over the dirt effects, and that's going to cover overdrives, distortions. So let's just go through my favorites. Now I'll just give you a few licks and chords so you can hear what they sound like. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is go to the 3 lines and then go to signal flow, and this is going to allow me to add in all the overdrives I need to, and then we can just flip through them as we want. So I'm going to go here in effects loop 2. I don't need on a switch, so I'm going to set that to none. And then I'm not going to worry about my delay and my reverb. Definitely not my reverb. So let's take that off. Foot switch 6. So let's go into the first little empty block. And let's go to distortion. So I usually just choose mono. And Line 6 has included lots of different options, even apart from the legacy options that came from the M series. And the first one that we're going to look at is the T-Ma. Now this is based off of the Paul Cochran Timmy. It sounds fantastic. Now what I like to use this pedal for is a slightly clean amp, maybe on the edge of breakup. And then I kick in the Timmy and it just adds a little more dirt on top of what I already have. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. And on this version we have the gain, bass cut, treble cut, and then 3 different clipping options, and then a level. So let's go ahead and listen to how it sounds like just where it's at right now, and then we can start adjusting things from there. So here's my clean tone on the Bluguitar Amp1. Alright, so the gain is straight up the middle, and that was on the up clipping, which I'm not quite sure which one that is. Let's go with the center clipping, which should be a little cleaner, more headroom. And this is the down clipping, which should give you less headroom and more distortion. So that's just middle of the road gain. Let's go ahead and bring it down pretty good ways. Let's set it on 2. And now let's mess with the treble and the bass cuts. Now the higher you have these, the more it's going to cut the bass or the treble. So if we want more high end, then we can technically just roll the treble cut all the way counterclockwise. Okay, so that's the brightest it's going to get. Now let's go fully clockwise on the treble knob. And you can hear it's pretty dark, so I won't ever use that setting. So I usually keep it either in the middle or slightly counterclockwise. I see the same thing for the bass. If we roll the bass all the way up, it's actually going to cut the bass. And now we have the bass fully counterclockwise, which is going to give us the most bass that we can get. Alright, so once again, that's too much bass for me, so let's just roll that up a little bit. Alright, go back to the clean tone. Back to the up clipping. Alright, so that was the Timmy. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next effect. Alright, the next overdrive is going to be the TS-808. So click the big knob, distortion, mono, and we're going to go all the way down till we get to the Scream 808, which is basically the TS-808. So that stands for Tube Screamer, and this is just the big green pedal that we all know and love. So click on that, and we got gain, tone, and we got level, just like on the real pedal. So typically I like my gain down pretty low. Let's put this on 2. Let's keep the tone in the middle. Let's just mess with the volume and we'll see what makes sense in the signal path. Alright, so here's the clean sound. Alright, so let's bring the level up a little bit. Now we're going to have to adjust the level just a little bit based on the gain. Since the gain's down pretty low, the level has to be up higher to get to the normal setting between the on and off state. So alright, that sounds good. Let's bring up the gain just a little bit. Let's set it on 3. So I really don't use a lot of gain on this. And my main purpose of the Scream 808 is to push it into the front end of an already overdriven amp. So I'm going to kick it over to the vintage channel on the Bluguitar Amp1 and then play it without the Scream 808 and then turn the Scream 808 on. So here it is. Alright, so I love the Scream 808 because it really helps push the mids and push more gain into the front end of the amp, which to me is what a tube screamer is supposed to do. And that's mainly what I use it for. I don't really use it in front of a clean amp because I don't like the honky mid-range sound that the Scream 808 provides. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next effect. Alright, my third choice for my all-time favorite dirt effect on the HX effects is the Compulsive Drive. Now this is based off of the full tone OCD, and to me I think the HX has a little bit more gain on tap than the actual OCD pedal, but I haven't heard the real deal in such a long time. It's really hard for me to compare, but either way this is a great sounding drive pedal. Alright, so the gain is usually fairly high to start off with, and I typically bring that down pretty low because it's just too much gain. So here's the gain on 3. Alright, so we're going to have to bring up the volume a little bit. And there is 2 different versions of this pedal. We got version 2 and version 4. So we'll flip back and forth between those here in a second. Alright, very cool. Let's go ahead and check out version 4. Alright, so to me version 4 is a little bit more compressed. And let's go to the peak, which is a high peak, low peak, or high power, low power, whichever it stands for. So here's the high. And the low. So between all those settings, there's a lot of different ways to dial in this pedal. And for me, I like the gain low and just a good even sound that doesn't sound too over the top compared to the clean sound. Alright, for the fourth pedal, we're going to go into the legacy section. So let's go down here and we're going to choose the tube drive. Alright, so this actually has a drive, bass, middle, treble, and an output. So very, very easy to use. And let's start off with the drive down about 30% and keep the bass, middle, and treble halfway up. And let's just see what it sounds like. Here's the clean sound. Alright, that's just a good run-of-the-mill overdrive. And if you want a bluesy sound, this is great for that. Let's boost the mids a little bit. Turn the drive back down and let's kick on the vintage channel on the amp. Go back to clean channel. Alright, now the last effect that we're going to look at is the heavy distortion, and that's pretty much based off of the Boss middle zone. And if we look at the settings, we have a drive, bass, middle, treble, and output. So we're just going to leave the settings as they are. I do have the drive down just slightly from where the stock setting usually is. And here's a clean tone once again on the Bluguitar Amp1. So I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty metal-ish to me. Let's go in and turn on some delay. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure the heavy distortion is after the overdrive. So let's move this block one over so that way when I turn on the Scream 808, it's going to kick in more mids and more gain into the front end of the pedal and give you an even more tighter metal sound. So Alright, so there you go, guys. That is 5 of my favorite overdrive and distortion pedals in the HX Effects. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know your favorites in the HX Effects line of overdrives and distortions. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe down below. And check the description where you can download my 8 top tone tips in a PDF form. And by doing so, you'll be signing up to my newsletter, and I can just send you updates about the studio and future videos. So thanks guys for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.